Hi everyone, this is Crystal, and today I'm sharing my May shop release with all of you. All of these items will be listed in my Etsy shop as this video goes live. So at 8 a.m. on May 5th, all of these things will be available. I have 7 different items to share with you. I am going to show each one individually, so let me clear this away and start with the first item. The first item is this Traveler's Notebook size mini album. It is coil bound and has a plastic cover. Let me show you all of the pages. There are 16 double-sided pages, all in these gorgeous pink spring colors. So the release this month definitely has a spring floral vibe to it. There's a vellum page in here. Everything kind of follows this spring theme. I don't know how it is where you are, but here in Indiana, spring has definitely started. Flowers are blooming, trees are starting to get their leaves, the weather is a little bit warmer, and I thought this would be the perfect time to share these very spring themed items with all of you. So there are some solid cardstocks, there are some patterned papers from manufacturers like Webster's Pages, Pink Fresh Studio, Dear Lizzie. There's some Cartabella in here as well. So that is the notebook. So there is lots of room here on these coils to add lots of embellishments inside. Of course, it also comes with a bunch of embellishments. So let me share those with you as well. First of all, there are some 3x4 pocket cards. These are great for journaling and adding a little extra bit to each of your pages. Let me show you all of these. These are from companies like Studio Calico, from Project Life cards. I think that is a Dear Lizzie Project Life card. Just things that I had in my stash that went well with this theme and would help you get your stories documented in this album. You also will get a couple of items from Ellie's Studio. These are from Serendipity. So there is the little snippet labels as well as the tidbits. Those are complete brand new packages of those. You also get a stamp set in this kit. This is from Basic Gray. It has all of these really awesome frames on it. Brand new stamp set in this kit. You get 2 packages of embellishments, which I will open up in a second. And then you also get, this is a partial roll of washi tape from Cartabella that matches some of the papers that are in the album. So let's start with this smaller bag of embellishments. These are some more dimensional embellishments. So a couple crochet flowers, a little, it's not enamel, acrylic, I don't know, resin, I think, piece from Webster's Pages, some twine, a couple clips, some felt flowers, and then these little stick pins as well. So those will be fun little bits to add onto the pages of this album. And then the final embellishment pack is just a huge bunch of die cuts and chipboard and acetate pieces. It comes in this repurposed packaging just to keep it all safe when I ship it out to you, but let me open it up and show you what's inside. So there is a ton. As usual, when I put these embellishment packs together, I just don't know when to stop. I just keep adding things until the bag is basically full. So here is what's inside. You can see there are some chipboard pieces, some little acetate butterflies, some flags. Some of this is from the Cartabella collection that I've used throughout the album. Some of it is from some American Crafts die cut packs. There are some Ellie Studio vellum pieces in here. Just a ton of items. Some things that are die cut from the papers that I used in the album. Some little butterflies that I stamped on vellum and fussy cut out. There are some frames, there are journal spots, there are florals fussy cut from the papers, all kinds of goodies in here. So much here. I think that you will be able to get lots of use out of these, and that you'll be able to finish the album completely with what is in this kit. So let me clean this up and I will show you the next item. This is the mini album kit for May. I'll move on to item number 2 in just a moment. So to coordinate with the mini album kit, I've also created 2 packs of layered embellishments. This month I decided just to leave them loose and not try and add adhesive. I'm not entirely sure that that attempt was completely successful last month. So instead of trying that again, I've just left them loose and put them in these repurposed plastic bags. Let me show you each one of these sets. So this is set number 1. It contains 6 different layered embellishment pieces, all with a large 2-inch circle base. So there are chipboard pieces on here. There is some stitching. There are some brads and various die cut pieces all layered together on these embellishments that are perfect for adding to any kind of page. They make putting together a page super simple. All you have to do is plop one of these down and add your photo and maybe a little bit of journaling, and then that's basically all that you need. So you can see lots of stitched elements, lots of layers. I love making these. They are just so much fun, and I love using them as well. So that is set number 1. Set number 2 is slightly different, same concept, but they have slightly different bases. So these are not all circles like set number 1 was. Again, there are 6 of these as well. So these are different shapes. The bases of these are some rectangles, some tags, some hearts, some flowers. Again, same kind of concept. They have brads and different layers, some little die cut pieces, some chipboard pieces. This has a base of a large floral die cut. This one is a large tag. Another one of those floral die cuts. Some stitched elements. Lots of layers, lots of dimension. Again, some stitching. And all you have to do is just add some adhesive to the back and then add them to your pages. So that is die cut set number 2. Next up, let's take a look at the last few items in the shop today. So I always like to include some sort of vintage element in my shop releases just because I love working with vintage papers, and I have a huge stash of vintage things that I certainly can't work through on my own and just want to share with all of you. So this month I have created 4 stitched traveler's notebooks with vintage papers inside. So they will each be listed separately. It'll be one listing with 4 different options. They are floral, music, stripe, and alpha. So I'm going to show you what's inside of each one. Each one, of course, is slightly different because they are full of vintage papers, but I'm going to flip through each one really quickly just to show you what's inside. So let's start with the floral one. So they all have, they're very thick. They have tons of pages in them. They all have, I think, 28 pages. So there is some vintage newsprint paper, some doilies, music paper, maps, some pages from old magazines and old books. There is some pattern paper. So this is an old Cosmo Cricket paper. Again, another page from a book, some vintage ledger paper, some vintage stationery, some tracing paper, graph paper, and craft paper. And then, of course, that repeats on the other half of the notebook. So these are great for junk journals, for recording travels, mini albums, that sort of thing. That is the floral one. Next up, let's take a look at the music one. So it has this beautiful music pattern paper on the front. Another large doily, newsprint again, a music paper inside, maps, magazine pages, book pages, another sheet of Cosmo Cricut paper, book pages, some super old, what is it called? Letterhead. This is a music sheet paper. There you can see the letterhead. Old book pages. Of course, this is the repeating side. Okay, and that is the music notebook. Let's take a look at the stripe notebook. So some of them have some repeating elements and then individual unique pieces as well. So this is a different kind of stationery, some craft paper, some graph paper. This is another Cosmo Cricut paper, magazine pages, map pages, doilies, music paper, newsprint. You can see that they are all stitched together, so they will hold together well. So all those tiny little papers in here are not going to come out. It is fully stitched. I stitch it with my sewing machine, which is super old, but does a good job of putting these many layered books together. Okay, that is the stripe notebook. And then finally, the alpha notebook. So like I said, they all have an equal number of pages inside. They just vary from notebook to notebook. This is a sheet of basic gray paper, some book pages, children's books, and larger picture books, some notebook pages, places for journaling, some clear sheets to add a little bit of interest. Everything is kind of offset and really fun to use to add in fun interactive elements as well. So those are the 4 Travelers notebooks that I'll be adding to the shop. And that is everything that will be in this month's shop release. Thank you all so much for watching. Of course, I will have everything linked down below so that you can head over and pick it up. They are one-of-a-kind items, so once they're gone, they're gone. And then I will have another shop release next month on the 5th. Thanks again for watching, and I will see you all back here soon.